It has been 5 years since life as we knew it changed. This week, March 2020, 5 years ago that COVID-19 pandemic began.
Yeah, and as we take a look back 5 years, we're joined by a woman that we barely knew 5 years ago, epidemiologist Dr. Becky Dawson from Allegheny College down in Meadville. Yeah, you were a stranger to most of us here, us at Erie News Now and the folks at home, but we have certainly come to know you over that course of time. And yeah, thank you so much for everything that you've done to keep us informed. Talk about what it was like 5 years ago when Dr. Becky Dawson, whose life work is epidemiology, found out that we could be headed towards a pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, I think that going into the pandemic, like 2020, we had been talking for decades in public health that a pandemic was due. We were overdue. It had been, since 1918, that since the last actual global event had taken place. And so there had been lots of talk and lots of preparation, but when the moment hit, it was very surreal. And I think that intellectually I was prepared, but emotionally, practically, what does this mean as a person? It was really hard.
So I think it's interesting for you, the pressure was sort of on, right? What was it like for you to process all of this?
It was pretty big. I mean, everything I was teaching in the classroom, everything I'd done, basically since college was the reality, and it was front and center on television every day. I mean, it was hashtags and social media, viral, things. It was really intense.
Nothing like confirming you went into the right field.
Exactly, yes.
So when things, started to come back on the other side and we knew we had a vaccine, I would imagine that had to be one of the most exciting moments of the entire pandemic.
Yeah, honestly, one of the most exciting moments for me was when President Trump announced that he was gonna, do Operation Warp Speed and that he was going to fast track the vaccine. And we knew that fast tracking a vaccine was possible and that phase 1, 2, and 3 trials could be kind of done together, and that the peer review process was unnecessary, but it didn't need to take, years and years and years. So really when Operation Warp Speed was announced, that was one of the most the highlight of, 2020 for me. And then obviously when December happened and we all got to watch the vaccines be approved and then put into people's arms, it was sort of magical.
What is it like talking to your students now that you have this real life experience?
So I've definitely changed as an academic. My focus on communication is totally different. I think that before this, I was really focused on the science and making sure people understood the science. And now the importance of people being able to communicate the science so that everyone understands has become a real priority for me.
Boy, that is something. We're going to look at lessons learned and where we are now coming up on Erie News Now. So can you stay with us in the studio?
Absolutely.